Yo, I literally just got done watching Invincible season 4 episode 4, and if this episode was not the epitome of filler, don't get me wrong, it had its good moments in there, but I just was not enthralled at all by this plot line. And I'm like, damn, they really revisited it by the end of the episode again, huh, with the post-credit scene. But it is what it is. We gonna talk about it. Finally, I gotta say, all in the video, everybody know what you gotta do. Go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, follow if you want TikTok. Let's talk about it. So this episode is basically split up like this. We have the first 4 or 5 minutes of the episode that's really good. I feel like it was a conversation that Mark really needed, even though he took his sorrows down to the literal pits of hell. Talking literally surrounded by Satan in them. The next section of the episode, right? It's the bulk of the episode. Before we get back to the end of the last episode, because I seen that they had Eve in the previously on Invincible at the beginning of this episode, and I'm like, yo, we got like 10 minutes left, and I still have not seen Eve not once this whole episode. On this portion of the episode, her and William are having a conversation about the pregnancy that Eve discovered at the end of the last episode. Before we see Omni-Man and Alan, then we get back to this filler stuff that we're probably not going to see until halfway through season 5. And back to the conversation between Mark and his costume designer. I'm not remembering his name. I think it's that's not Alan. It's not Alan. I don't remember bro's name. Mark goes over to him. He's talking about the body he had to catch the other day. He confirms with himself, man, I'm becoming like my pop. His costume designer basically tells him, listen, don't flatter yourself. If you was like your pops, you'd have a lot more bodies to show for it. The fact that you feel as bad as you do right now means that you are the exact opposite of your pops. You have empathy. You feel bad for the body that you had to catch, but you had to do it. The scene during this conversation, Mark is giving his costume back to the designer whose name is not coming to me right now, before he gets a call from Eve to take a job. Now, this job ends up being another section of filler. We get 2 subsections of filler in this episode. This goes back to, I want to say, season 2 or season 3. We have this girl discover this mummy in a temple. The mummy was talking about he didn't want to take no woman host, so they were basically in a stalemate. The job is basically that Mark has to go out to this desert in order to save the girl. He's about to do so until he gets called down to literal hell by Damien Darkblood, the dude that was in season 1 of Invincible. Remember? We seen him at the end of the last season, but for y'all who need a refresher, he was a detective who was determined to get Omni-Man caught up on the things that he was definitely doing in season 1. Actually, Cecil had a bench before he was able to take credit for his work. So he's been with his people in the pits of hell fighting against this volcanic demon named Volcaronica, I think. Anyway, this lady put in BTA to Damien and his dark blood people. Should this man Satan. Satan's like, yo, I told you to get rid of her. Damien literally brings his dead homies back to Satan because Satan is going to be able to bring him back to life. Satan's like, I'm going to bring him back. Y'all need to spin back on Volcaronica right now. Damien's like, no, we cannot follow the same plan. That shit is literal insanity. I go about it a different way, and this is how Invincible gets involved in it. He thinks he's calling out Omni-Man. Omni-Man is not on Earth, so they got Mark. And honestly, they're very lucky that they got Mark and not Oliver, because the way Oliver was ducking and weaving from that dragon in the last episode, I would not want him on my payroll right now. Respectfully, because that dragon was a problem solo though. But yeah, Mark was definitely the better option of the two. Basically, he's their hero for hire. He just helps them against Volcaronica in this episode. But he also gets Satan this crown that gets him the power to turn back into this. I guess that's his final form. The form before was just a decrepit old man. And that's Satan in the Invincible universe. Like, yeah, that's his form. Not really all that good on the battlefield. It's really Invincible carrying these fools. He's a leader that the Dark Bloods respect. Before the day, the Dark Bloods were really looked down upon by Satan, specifically Damien for not being able to get the job done time and time and time and time and time. But with Invincible, he and his Dark Blood family are able to get the job done. Other good moments in this filler, I like when we see Mark and Damien literally free falling. They're just having that conversation about his mask. Like, why didn't you add a microphone to this mask? You really think I can't hear you with the mask on? That was banter that I liked, but that was really the extent of what I liked in this little filler arc for real. Even then, the section where they're literally falling for like 4 minutes. And then Mark just one-twos the demon in the bottom of that bottomless pit. He just throws Damien right back up the pit that they came down. I see Mr. Power, shout out to Mr. Power, who's also watching this season right now. He's like, where's the budget going? And I'm like, in this episode, you kind of feel like that. He literally went down the bottomless pit, and then Mark throws bro back up the bottomless pit. And we don't focus on the fight between him and the demon downstairs. We literally focus on Damien going back up and then back down. And it's funny, but it's like, damn, like, this is what we spending this episode on for real, the bulk of the episode. I guess they give us 3 episodes a peak. They was like, y'all can handle some mid. And it's understandable. Robert Kirkman had a lot of storylines that he wants to flesh out clearly in this series. That was in the comics. I get that. Some episodes are not going to be as good as others, and that's ultimately okay. I'ma still watch. Invincible was just that entertaining. I will continue to watch it. But I gotta call a spade a spade. This episode just wasn't as good as the other ones, and that is okay. I know I said that the Dark Bloods were able to come out on top by the end of this episode, but Mark is not able to take out Volcaronica. So that's another villain that we'll probably see in like season 6 of Invincible if we get there. I'm sure we'll see her in the future. One thing about Invincible, we will not be without villains ever in this universe. The thing I liked about this episode was that once Mark gets back home, he goes back to the blue and yellow suit. Now listen, I've been a fan of the black and blue. But literally after y'all told me that this black and blue suit is a depression suit, I've been feeling it too. Every episode, this man Mark gets more and more depressed, and I feel him. I get it. He's been going through a lot. And I was so happy to see him just flying freely in the city in the blue and yellow suit, similarly to the old days. How geeked he was when he first got that suit in season 1. But then he immediately gets back into depression mode where his mom tells him that she is about to move out of their house, move in with her man in their crib. That's when he goes to that rooftop, and we see, similarly to season 3, Eve go meet him on that rooftop every time. She wants to tell him about the pregnancy because she had a conversation with William earlier on in the episode, basically just letting him in on the situation. He's yapping for the most part, but he does tell her that she needs to talk to Mark about this so that he's in the know on how she's feeling and where they want to go moving forward. She's about to tell him, but then Omni-Man and Alan pull up. So the episode really was not all that bad for real. Like I said, there were good moments in it. I'm glad to see Omni-Man and Alan are back, but that needs to be the focus going into episode 5. I'm sure it will be. Sometimes you need a little filler with some good character beats to get the story back on track by the end of it. We end the episode with the post-credit scene. Damien makes his way back to Earth. As soon as he does, Satan has something else to tell him. Like you literally just saw, bro, a couple moments before. Apparently the humans are plotting. Veronica don't like it. He want Damien to figure out what the hell is going on. He says maybe he'll make an appearance on Earth. I mean, I guess I will not be waiting on that, but if you do, I'll see you when I see you. Overall, I gotta give this episode a 6 out of 10. Wasn't completely bad at all. Kind of expected an episode like this after the 3-episode run that we just got. I just really wasn't a fan of it overall. It is what it is. I'll leave your thoughts on it in the comments, and if nothing else, I'm definitely looking forward to episode 5 next week.